I'm Donna, and this is Some Bold Adventure. I'm telling the story of the biggest adventure of my life, following in my grandfather's footsteps on the World War II Ghost Mountain Trail in Papua New Guinea. I'm hiking through the jungles and mountains of Papua New Guinea, following the same path my grandfather and the Ghost Mountain Boys took in World War II as part of the 32nd Red Arrow Division. And I am struggling. This trek is supposed to take about 3 weeks, and about a weekend we were going to have a rest day, the only day we wouldn't be walking, in the village of Laronu. First of all, this was the first time I'd ever hiked for a week straight, and we were only about a third of the way in. There were still 2 more weeks to go. Not long after our only rest day, we would make the trek up Ghost Mountain, the most difficult day of our journey, and I was worried. I was still struggling. Peter didn't have to carry my pack anymore, but this was still so hard, so much harder than I was prepared for, and I still had to get up Ghost Mountain. Knowing my struggles, Peter said, "We'll work something out in Laronu." A helicopter was coming into Laronu while we were there, bringing someone from the U.S. Embassy, a reporter, some supplies. And I thought Peter's plan might be to send me home on the helicopter. Maybe this hike wasn't for me. Maybe I just wasn't strong enough. The thing is, I was really struggling, and I didn't know if I could make it through. But I wasn't going to quit, and I certainly did not want to be sent home. We had a great welcome in Laronu. There was music and skits. A boy climbed up a palm tree to get fresh coconuts for us. Yeah, this tree. There was a lot of activity because we were getting a new group of carriers. Having an expedition like this is an economic boon to villages along the trail. In order to spread that around, carriers were used from villages across the trail. At Laronu, we were switching from our south side carriers to our north side carriers, representing both sides of the mountain to make sure the benefit was shared among everyone. Our personal carriers stayed with us, but much of the larger group would be leaving. It was great to have a rest day, see village life, check out the wildlife, There was a woman in the village with a bad infection. There's no medical care out there. Going to a hospital means days of walking, which isn't possible if someone is sick or hurt. During World War II, the local people helped the soldiers by carrying the wounded on stretchers, something they still do today for people who are sick or hurt. Think about that. Days of walking over this tough terrain carrying a person on a stretcher. This woman needed a hospital, so they decided to send her back on the helicopter. As I watched the helicopter disappear into the distance, I knew I had passed the point of no return. There was no stopping now, no way out, even if I wanted to. After the helicopter left, Peter talked to me about his plan. He wondered if I would be willing to hire someone to carry my day pack over Ghost Mountain, so I would only have to get myself, with no extra weight, over the mountain. Yes, so that was very good news. Peter wasn't trying to send me home. He was helping me try to get to the end. I went to sleep that night happy to still be there, but afraid of the mountains yet to come. Ghost Mountain had been looming in my mind through the trip so far, and now it was looming right in front of us. It's over 10,000 feet high. That's 3,000 meters, and there's no real path over it. This was the day that would take us through the Ghost Forest, past the mountain that gave the name to the soldiers who came this way, the Ghost Mountain Boys. The mountain's official name is Mount Aubrey. Some say it's called Ghost Mountain because of the phosphorescent glow of the mossy trees. Others say it's because it's haunted, or that it earned its name when the soldiers who crossed it arrived looking ghostly and gaunt. My grandfather described it as not having a bird or bug on it, saying it was weird, eerie. We climbed and climbed, steady and steep, for hours. The porters were busy with shovels and machetes, clearing the way and digging toeholds to help us get up. It was so steep you would try to hold trees to pull yourself up, but there were so many things covered in thorns. The ground was soft and it gave way like a cushion because we weren't walking on dirt, we were walking on centuries worth of accumulated leaves. We reached the top and it was so cold. All the gear the soldiers ditched on the way up would haunt them as the tropical heat was gone and now there was unexpected bitter cold. Fortunately, we knew about the cold and we were prepared for it. It was very meaningful for me to be on top of Ghost Mountain. I dug out my grandfather's World War II compass, which I'd worn like a protective amulet through the whole trip. And after a break at the top, we went back down again. My knees were wobbly and achy and it seemed like it would never end. You just had to put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. We bush camped that night and the next day my knees were worthless. Any twig or rock I would step on and my feet would go in different directions. They were completely unstable. I had no control over them. We were standing on top of a ridge, I think just standing, not even moving, and my knee just buckled, and down I went. And I'm not talking down on the ground. I was sliding down the ridge, crashing through the brush. I started falling, and I couldn't stop. And then overhead through the flattened brush, I saw Leo soar through the sky, and I yelled his name, and all I could think of was we had that giant heavy pack on, and he was never going to stop sliding. And then we stopped, and we were okay. Someone came and helped me walk back up, and I get to the top and everybody's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm okay, but what is wrong with my skin?" The brush I crashed through was something they call salat, a type of stinging nettle. My skin felt like it erupted in flames while I was being zapped with electricity. It was horrifying. Other than that, I was fine. Lucky. And Leo was fine, thank goodness. I like to believe throughout the trip that my grandfather was looking out for me, protecting me. But right now I felt really vulnerable, unprotected. That's when I realized I was supposed to be tested. This was never supposed to be easy for me. It was hard for the soldiers, all they endured. I was carrying almost nothing, never had to worry about food or water. They had malaria, dysentery so bad that some of them cut the seats out of their pants. They had near constant rain and mud. I had it so much easier than they did. But now I had other concerns. I had a whole team of people trying to help me through the hard parts now, recognizing that I was struggling. All those people were at risk because of me. It was a lot, and on top of that, I was in so much pain. Both knees ached so bad it would wake me up at night. One night, Nathan brought me to a kind of healer, medicine man, and we sat down in a clearing, and the Southern Cross was hanging in the sky, and the man held my knees and chanted. That was the first night in a long time I slept without pain. From that day on, one knee started improving and the other kept getting worse. We weren't even halfway done yet. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because this adventure is not over yet. Thanks for watching.